revision on the first 4 modules of www.mymusictheory.com grade 2, and particularly on the first 2 modules, because we did the other 2 last week. So the first 2 modules that we did today, right? I'm just re-recording this because I didn't feel like I explained it well. The first 2 modules. First module is the double names of the notes and the rests. So for instance, minim, half note, crotchet, quarter note, etc. You need to know those backwards and forwards without thinking. If I wake you up in the middle of the night and I show you a piece of theory paper, you need to go, oh, crotchet, quarter note, okay, or 16th note, semiquaver. You need to know that backwards. Then how to write them, rests and notes. Okay, and then going on to slurs and ties, you need to know that a tie goes across same notes, slur goes across different notes. Slur marking is about articulation. Instead of da, da, a slur will make a da, and then a tie just lengthens the note value. So you can tie a minim to a crotchet, and then you get, instead of 2 beats, you get 3 beats because it's minim plus crotchet. Okay, and then the other thing you learned about there in those modules are ledger lines. Okay, in the first module, ledger lines. So ledger line are the little lines that go above the stave. So here's the bass clef. You've got this little ledger line that goes up above here. Okay, that distance here is the same distance that's there and here and there. It's just an extension of the stave. So when you draw the next one, you want to try and keep that distance the same. Okay, over here, that would be a middle C. Remember we spoke about that. And on the treble clef, that would be a middle C. And the middle C sits on a ledger line. Okay, guys. So the next thing you want to remember about ledger lines is that they're an extension of the rhymes and the note names you've learned on stave. So F, A, C, E, okay, in the treble clef. Face, F, A, C, E, all right? Yay, face. And then all cows eat grass, A, C, E, G on the bass clef. And then the ledger lines are just an extension of that, okay? So guys, if that's a G, right? G, A, B. This is a B. And then from that B up to the first ledger line is a C. That will be middle C. And up to the next one here, that will be a D. Okay. And then to E. All right. So guys, it's really just an extension of what note names are already on the stave, and it's not that complicated. But I would encourage you, always use a sharp pencil. You cannot write theory with a pen. You need to write with a sharp pencil. And whenever you are counting these notes or trying to work them out, or anything you do on that stave, you take the sharp pencil and you point to it. So if you're counting intervals, you point, 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 point. If you're doing a ledger line, or you're trying to work out what's on a ledger line, then you're going all kinds of grass. So let's say it's here, right? You go all cows eat grass, G, A, B, C, D. That is a D. Okay. So if you're not familiar, by just looking and getting it at one go. Okay. So those are ledger lines. This is a very basic concept, guys. Very straightforward, okay, based on what you knew from grade 1. Okay, moving on to module 2, which is transposition, transposing a melody line either into unison or into octaves, either up an octave or down an octave. Now that's very simple if you're on the stave. So over here, let's say we've got to take those 4 notes up an octave. That's quite simple. You say that's an F. Then remember 8 notes up to get the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with your sharp pencil. Right, G, yeah, right, A, yeah. Step up, step up, step up. And then this comes down 3. All right, got that? And that is an octave up from that. Very simple. If you asked to write this in unison, that's just the same. That's a unison line. It's exactly the same. Okay, but yeah, the trick is, though, is when you're moving into another stave, in other words, from treble clef to bass clef, the trick is that you got to reference middle C. So watch this. If I go E, F, G, E, right? And they want me to write this in unison. Then I've got to say, where's middle C on the treble clef? I'll go here and I say, oh, middle C is there. So this note, this pitch, bung, this tone is 3 up, 1, 2, 3 from C. So if I'm writing this in unison on the bass clef, what I've got to say is, oh, here is middle C on the bass clef, and it's 3 up. So have a look at this, guys. E, F, G. Okay. The last one is E3 down, coming down. Right. So now this figure here, E, F, G, E, is exactly the same pitch as E, F, G, E in the bass clef. This is the treble clef, ba da da da, and in the treble clef, and in the bass clef, ba da da da. Same pitch, same notes, same everything. What I've done is I've referenced middle C on the treble, and I've referenced middle C on the bass clef, and I've found out where that sits. That is unison, not octaves. Okay, now I'm going to show you the octave. So now I've got to take this figure down an octave, but I've got to write it on the bass clef, not on the treble clef. So I say, there's middle C. This note is 3 up from middle C. I don't need the E that's above middle C. I need the E that is below middle C. So I go to my middle C. Sorry, this is a bit wet. I got it. The E, the middle C that's on my bass clef. There's your reference. Middle C on the treble, middle C on the bass, right? And what I do is I find the E that's below the C here, and that would be there. So between that E there and this E here is an octave. Okay, octave. Remember, an octave is 8 notes, or an interval of an eighth. Okay, this goes up a step, go up a step, check it. That's an E, that's an F, that's an E, that's an F. Up to the G, another step. Now down a third, back to the E. And that now, this is an octave below that line, melody line over there. Guys, and vice versa. If they were to give you this and they were to say, write it an octave up in the treble clef, that would be the answer there. So there's unison, right, in different clefs, which means at pitch, same pitch. But then there's octave, which means 8 notes apart, and it could either go up or down.